Okay, well, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for coming. Sorry for these technical difficulties. I wasn't expecting to be alone doing this, all these logistics. But thank you for coming. It's I'm very happy to be back on campus. I just finished my MBA 4 months ago, but I've been working for this startup for almost 1 year. So just to give you a little bit of background on this startup, it was founded by two PhDs from MIT as well. They went through Y Combinator. They raised some money from Google Ventures, and now we are scaling the company. The concept really is a no-code platform for people to build AI assistants without having to code at all. Okay, so you're gonna see that it's very easy to build any sort of assistant. Okay, conversational, but also any type of automation that you want to do with AI. It's very simple to do that. So I'm going to show you now, and I'm super happy to be with you. You don't need any technical background, honestly. So this tool is meant for non-technical people, although technical people as well can use it. I'm going to show you, if you are technical, you can also use it to do some rack pipelines without having to code anything. But the purpose really is to put this tool into the hands of people that find problems. They want to solve things in a business context or in a personal context as well. You can have an assistant replying to your emails, okay, without having to code and really focusing on the problem and trying to solve it. Okay, so this is overall Stack AI. We are very much focused on the enterprise. Okay, so we have a lot of enterprise features for security. So in case you want to use Stack AI for your own venture, and you want to sell it to enterprises, be assured that Stack AI is SOC 2 compliant, GDPR, HIPAA. So if you want to do a healthcare venture as well, this is something that you can promote as well, that you're using an engine that is HIPAA compliant for healthcare, for example. Okay, and we have plenty of security features that could be useful for you if you want to use Stack AI to build your own venture, your prototypes, to ship a product very fast and see what the reaction from the customers. Okay, so we have 45 minutes. The idea is to walk you through a little bit the concept of Stack AI and then to build an assistant from scratch together. Okay, and for that, I invite you to go to stackai-ai.com. Sorry, stack-ai.com and create a free account. Okay, or you can as well, if you have an MIT account, via SSO. Although I encourage you to create a free account, okay, without using the SSO, because through the SSO you're gonna have some rights that will not allow you to build what we're gonna build today. Okay, so just go to this website. Yeah, we're recording it for the people that are in the Zoom as well. I'm gonna share it. And we're gonna go from scratch, okay, from the very beginning, and you will see that in 45 minutes we can have an assistant for someone to chat with the documents and get cool insights. Okay, so just go to stackai.com, create a free account with your Gmail or with an MIT account. Don't use the SSO option because of these permissions that it's gonna be a little bit complicated, but while you do this, I'm going to show you our landing page that describes very much what you can do with Stack AI. And of course, if you have any question, feel free to interrupt myself. Okay, let's have a discussion. You know, if you ask me anything, I will try to answer you. And let's have fun building this assistant in 45 minutes. Okay. So while you create your account, just let me show you a little bit what Stack AI looks like. Okay, hope you can see here. Yes. Okay, so everything happens in this drag and drop interface. Okay, where you'll be drag and dropping functionality blocks. Okay, one of the functionality blocks is a large language model, but we have many other blocks that you can connect to that large language model. Some of those functionality blocks are knowledge bases. Okay, information that you have and that you want the large language model to access. And we have other functionality blocks that are more related to, for example, sending emails or receiving emails or doing, connecting with Zapier to do any sort of automation that you want to do downstream. Okay, so we're gonna review the most important functionality blocks in a moment. But just to show you that Stack AI, really everything goes around this drag and drop interface that allows you to build complex logics for your assistants without having to code at all. Okay. If you want to code, there's an option. Okay, there's a specific Python node that you can use to code things, but that's for more advanced use cases. Okay, but we don't only provide this drag and drop interface for the logic of the assistant. We offer as well pre-built interfaces, user interfaces that you can use. So the most common one is the sort of like the conversational assistant, like ChatGPT or Claude, that you can have a conversation with the assistant. Okay, you can have a list of conversations, and then you start interacting with the AI. But we have other ones that we develop throughout our interactions with our customers that we're gonna explore together as well. I think it's interesting for you to get a sense of on other possibilities of interacting with a large language model. Okay, not always you want to have a conversation with an AI. Sometimes you want to automate a full process, and you only want an output at the end. Finally, you can have as well all sort of analytics in Stack AI. So once you ship your product or your prototype into the market or to your users, you can track as well all the executions, what they are talking about, how long it takes for the model to answer, and etc. We're gonna see it now. Okay, so as I was saying, no code required. We have a pre-built use cases as well. We have a long list of templates that you can use. So maybe you're interested in healthcare, in finance, or in any other industry. We have some templates that you can use out of the box. Okay, enterprise-grade security, I already mentioned, and then on-premise deployment. Well, that's maybe too technical for today, but we do that as well for companies. And this is how the end result looks like. Okay, and that's like the very basic use case that, and we're gonna build it now in 30 minutes. You will see that in 30 minutes you can have an assistant to chat with it and receive insights. Okay, so you can build your own custom ChatGPT that will do more than what the ChatGPT does. So you have here citations, you have sources, you have follow-up questions, you have many additional features. For example, here you see that I asked something to the assistant, and then it gives me the documents that it took to answer my question, and it will show as well the document and the specific chunks of text that it took. Okay, so that's for the one of the pre-built interfaces that we have, but we have more. We have the form interface. Okay, that is something that looks like this, that you can upload, a meeting that you had recorded, and you can upload it here, and you can have the output of what happened in the meeting. Maybe you want the AI to provide some feedback. If you had a sales meeting, for example, that's a use case that some clients build with Stack AI, and you don't want to have a conversation with an AI. You really want to upload things and then get the result. Okay, so that's how you automate a process end to end. And then we have other more advanced user interface that you can use. This one is the batch processing interface. So you can upload thousands of scenarios for an AI to go through all the different rows, and it will execute everything in batch. Okay, so we're gonna explore it now. I'm just doing an intro on what's possible. Okay, of course, we're working with all the different models out there, the best ones. We are always up to date with that. OpenAI, Google, Meta, Anthropic.
Sí, comida.
Llama 3.1, more advanced one that I can show you later. But the good thing about this platform as well is that, maybe 1 month OpenAI is the best model out there. Maybe another month is Anthropic, so you can switch very easily, and you don't have to worry about anything. And then the certifications that I was mentioning. So if you're using Stack AI to build things for your end customers, you can also say that you have a data pipeline that is SOC 2 Type 2, GDPR, or HIPAA. Okay, this could be something interesting for you. And then we connect with the most common databases. Okay, so now you will see that, we're going to use an OpenAI model or an Anthropic model. But what is truly important is to be able to feed the model with your internal data, so it knows the context about what you are asking it to do. And that's it. That's it. If you go here, you have as well some resources. Okay, if you go to the blog, we have plenty of guides that you can take a look. Okay, so automating call centers QA with voice to text, contract redlining for banks and law firms. Chat with CRMs as well. You can connect to Salesforce, and then you can have a sales representative asking things instead of going into Salesforce. Okay, we have a ton of guides on specific use cases, and we explain how to build it. Okay, let me see if we are doing okay in the Zoom room. Okay, okay, people are getting in. I guess you're listening to me, and I'm sharing, so all good. Okay, so this is the blog. We also have a YouTube channel that you can check with tutorials. Okay, but without further ado, let's jump into the dashboard. Okay. So this is a dashboard with all your different projects. Okay, one project is one AI assistant. Okay, so here you see that I have a ton of use cases. You can as well create different folders for your different projects. You can create private ones with your teams as well. Okay, but let's create a project. So I click here, and I see a list of templates that I can use out of the box. Okay, so for example, if I want a Typeform lead emailer, okay, I will click here. Okay, and you will see the sort of like the logic of this assistant already ready to go. Okay, the only thing you have to do is to upload your documents or your internal knowledge, but you already have the architecture to play around with it. Okay, and this one, for example, it's going to receive a type form. Okay, that maybe you have it in your website. It's gonna take information from your knowledge bases, for example, frequently asked questions or description about your company, and it's sending everything to two models that are gonna do some transformations in order to answer the user or your lead and say, hey, thank you for contacting us. We saw you are interested in XYZ. These are the resources from the company that you can already check out before meeting with you, something like that. Okay, so this is one of the templates. Yeah, you go for it.
For we need here a task for AI, right? It is in English. Does it understand other languages as well? Which will give a comment, like for example, here in Anthropic, right? You want to make AI that answer questions.
You can put it in your language, yes, in whatever language you want, and it will understand. Yeah. The latest models are very good at multilingual. I mean, they're better.
They can provide in any language.
So we have to test. There's some models that are better at multilingual, like Mistral, for example. But OpenAI right now is really good at that. Of course, they're better at English, but you can test different models and see which one is best.
Okay.
But for sure. Okay, so now I don't know if you have this dashboard in front of you, but I propose we start with a project from scratch. Okay, so I click here. I go here to new project, and I'm gonna show you how to build one really from scratch. Okay, what are the foundations of building an AI system with Stack AI? So here you have an input and you have an output node. Okay, input is going to be the message from the user. Although if we use the form interface, you can have multiple inputs as well. Okay. Yeah.
The message from the user is through an API that we can build, or is it through any specific interface that the user will send?
Yeah, so you are advanced. So if we go here to export, you can use our pre-built interfaces. Okay, you can use the chat assistant that I was talking about, which is a custom ChatGPT, but you can always use Stack AI as something that will run in the backend. Okay, so we have a documentation on our API endpoints as well. So if you want, for example, for everything that has to do with like RAG and data transformation and send it to the models and everything, you want to do it in Stack AI, it's fine. And then you can send information via code with those endpoints. Okay, very good. So you can build your own UI as well. Okay, let me go back to the workflow. Okay, so this is the input. Okay, let's put here hello. Here I have an output node. okay, and in the middle, okay, although it's not required, honestly, you could put a other type of nodes in between, but typically you would put a large language model, okay? Large language models, so here on the left-hand side, you will see all the functionality blocks that I was talking about, okay? One of the most important, of course, are the large language models. So what you have to do is, you go to the one that you like, for example, Anthropic, I drag and drop it, and then I have here my node. Okay, and what I have to do now is I'm going to connect the input to the model and the output of the model, the completion, to the output node. And now if I click run, I'm gonna get the response from the model. Okay, I'm gonna see, hello, how can I help you today? Okay, so this is not very fancy. Okay, so now let's sophisticate it a little bit more. Here we have another section called knowledge bases. Okay, and this is where the magic happens as well. Okay, so I'm gonna drag and drop this one that is called documents plus search. Okay, which is going to be my first knowledge base. You can drag and drop as many as you want. Okay, maybe you have information in OneDrive, maybe you have information in Google Drive, maybe you have information in just PDFs. You can drag and drop as many as you want. And how you work with this is you connect the input to this knowledge base, and then the knowledge base to the large language model. Okay, and what this is going to do is it's gonna receive the input, so the message from the user, and it's gonna search through this knowledge base the specific chunks of text that are relevant to answer what the user is asking. Okay, so this is very important because this knowledge base, you can expand it as much as you want. You can put as many documents as you want, that your system will go really fast. The models will not saturate, in the sense of every model has a maximum number of information that they can receive. Okay, so if you use knowledge bases and you do this search process behind the scenes, we are only going to send the relevant information for the model to answer what the user is asking. Okay, this process is really important in the performance of these systems, and it allows as well the model to not hallucinate, because it will not try to find the response from its corpus that it was used to train the model, but it will always try to find the answer on this context that you provide. I saw a hand over there, but it's okay. Okay, no worries. Ask. Yeah.
So can you also connect us to do a search, live search in Google and pull something back?
Yeah, excellent question. So if you go here to data loaders, okay, we have other mechanism to do Google search. Okay, you can drag and drop this node. Okay, you can use another input node here, and also maybe like you can even put another large language model in between, just to generate the search query. So to the yeah, I'm gonna upgrade you all. So, but I need to do so like something in the background to upgrade you all. But I'll do that. Okay.
So you can search, then retrieve, and then feed it back into the knowledge base, and then have it answer the back, right?
100%. So let me show you how. So we have here the message from the user. Okay, and maybe in the meantime, you also want to search something, so you can attach it to this large language model that is going to take information from this input. Okay, and in this case, I'm saying, you see that this is in red. It's because it's connected to a node that the label is in 1. It's not in 0. So I have to change it, and that's it. It will understand that it's connected to this node, and then it has to take this information into consideration. Okay, and I can say here perform generate search query based on. Okay. Okay, it's best practice to put these hyphens, I think it's in English, or these dashes, just to tell the model what is an instruction that you are providing and what's context that is coming from another node. Okay, and then here you can say, like, please optimize the search query to have the best results. Okay, and then you connect the large language model to the Google search node. You can select how many searches you want. Okay, you have to be, so the more searches, the slower the system will work. Okay, so you have to be careful. You can also specify the search country, and then we can send this information to the main model. Okay, to have it as information. Okay, and here, okay, and then I didn't explain this, but this functionality block that is called large language model has two text areas. Okay, the first one here, you have to provide some instructions on how it has to behave. What's the goal of what's the objectives that it has to fulfill. Okay, and the idea is to be as specific as possible. Of course, you can start with a very generic thing as I have here. You are an AI assistant. Be brief, be polite, be helpful, and you can run it, and then you will see. I mean, many of our customers have very, very sophisticated prompts, and that's where also the magic or the performance of this assistant really varied from one use case to another one. Okay, so here is like generic things that are objectives that are not going to change throughout the conversation with the user. And here at the bottom, you have to specify how the model has to work with this information that we are providing, and that will change for every message that the user asks the large language model. This information will change. So if it's asking about, I don't know, growth rates in Europe, and then we are providing him some financial documents, it will retrieve information to answer that. So the information that the model receives changes very much based on what the user is asking. Okay, and the same could happen here. So what you would do, and here we see a warning saying, okay, you have these two nodes that are not used here. Please do the reference using these curly brackets. Okay, so what you do here is we say, use this knowledge, use this context to answer user. Okay, we put the hyphens. We open curly brackets, and you will see the nodes are connected. Okay. In this case, I know the context, the documents plus search, that's the code for it. Okay, you can see it here. And then we're gonna do the same for the search and use this web search as context. Okay, now we go here, we expand this a little bit. We open the curly bracket, we put it here, and here we go. Here we have like a small perplexity assistant that we built in 15 minutes. Okay. There's a further improvement here. Okay, so Google search, I mean, it's good, but it's a little bit slow. So last week we implemented another one called web search that is way faster, and we think is the one that Perplexity is using, but we are not 100% sure. But if you use it, it will go much faster. So let's use this one. Okay, web search, and that's it. So now if we ask something, okay, maybe look, maybe I'm gonna connect this to what the user is asking. So this model tries to come up with a Google search that will help answer what the user is asking. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and for this one to go faster, for example, okay, since this is a very straightforward task, I want to use a model that is faster. So I'm using GPT-4o mini. Okay, and you see here that it's faster. Since it's a very straightforward task, let's use that one. It's good enough. And then maybe for this one, since it will receive more context and maybe the task is more complicated, I'm gonna use the Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This model is great. So I can use this one. Any questions so far? I saw a lot of hands before.
It's kind of a question. So, can you use, for example, Canvas as a knowledge base, for example? Can it have access to grades of students, let's say, and be like an online assistant, right? So, and can students like I'm thinking to create something like for like a helper for students, and they ask, hey, like, what is my deadlines or anything like what is exists in Canvas? Can we add Canvas here as a knowledge base?
No, so we don't have the native integration with Canvas yet, but we have professors at MIT Sloan that they have they call it Canvas GPT in Canvas, and what they did is they went here into Stack AI, they built this assistant with their knowledge base, okay, that at the end of the day it's PDFs. It's like a PDF of the syllabus or PDF or whatever. Okay, they upload it here, and then when we go to export, they did this chat assistant, which is the custom ChatGPT with their own logo and their own everything, description. Okay, I think they put like the Canvas. Okay, you can put a description. I'm gonna show you this stuff later. And what they did is they embedded this into Canvas with an integration that MIT has, and now it's integrated in Canvas, fed by PDFs that they uploaded to Stack AI. So that's another way. It's not a native integration with Canvas, but it's doing the job. Any other questions? Yeah.
So I'm working on something around events, and I just connected it to the events page, let's say at MIT, and asked it like to pull up something that's happening tonight.
It took the information or not?
No,
Okay.
it should just be connected, right? You just need to put that with your using this URL as context.
Yeah. So you're using you are using these URLs plus search, right? Yeah, very good. So for this one, you can upload as many URLs, and we're gonna try to scrape information from those pages. If nothing is coming out of that, it's because either the website is not allowing scraping, or because something wrong is happening. Okay, and what you can do just to check is you can go here to data loader and use this URL node. Okay, that is not going to create a knowledge base, but what you can do here is you can connect an output node and see what it's scraping. Okay, so you can put the URL and you can see here in the output what's scraping. And if you don't see anything, it's that the website is not allowing you to scrape. For example, for LinkedIn and this type of things, they don't allow you to scrape. And I don't know if it's the case for them.
Yeah, I guess. Sounds like there is your URL found on the node
Okay.
It seems that
Yeah, there's websites that don't allow you to scrape, but I can check later and see why that.
Yeah, thank you. So how would it deal with contradictory information? Like, let's say if I'm creating a document and asking a question, would it then be able to sort of make a hierarchy of, this source is more reliable than this source, or is that something that we have to define in code?
Yeah. You have to define it. No, not in the code, but maybe here in the prompt, you can say like, you can connect different knowledge bases, and maybe one is more recent and one is older, and you can specify here. Always use this first knowledge base to answer the user, and if there's any contradictory thing, always use this first knowledge base. So this is why here in the prompting you have a lot of flexibility to tell it how to handle these contradictory things, because if not by itself it doesn't know anything. It will treat everything as ground truth, and maybe hallucinate, let's say like that. Oh, that's very strong. But there's some techniques here on prompting and saying, hey, this is the source of truth. Like if you are in doubt, use this knowledge base. Then use the other one just in case you have, just in case it provides additional context. Yeah.
Can I use it to generate videos?
Reviews of what?
For example, I'm a yoga instructor, yoga teacher, and I want to be able to give them yoga videos, like mini videos, based on what they ask. Like, for example, if you want to do a pose, one asana, and they say what is the mistake and how they correct it.
But do you want a video at the end?
Yeah.
So we don't have text to video integrated in Stack AI yet. I know there's some providers that this capability is just getting started right now. But what you can do is you can generate a script. So you can have something coming to the model based on what maybe it's a description of what the user wants or what's happening in the class. And you can have a knowledge base explaining how to provide that review, and then you can have a large language model generating the review in text or in voice. In voice, this is something that we have, that it's a text to audio, okay, that you can use here. But we don't have text to video yet inside Stack AI.
And can I do audio then?
Audio, yes. Yeah, we can try. Well, I don't have anything. Well, I'm gonna upload some documents, okay, just to show you. Okay, I'm gonna upload these 5 documents. Okay, and now you see that it's the status is pending. It's because it's uploading this data into something that is called vector store, which is transforming. It's taking all information from the PDFs in the images, in the graphs, in like everything. So it's parsing that information, and then it's storing it somewhere. So later you can do this search mechanism very easily. Okay, so that's why it's taking some time. It's a process called indexing. Okay, so it's you see it's taking some time. For example, for this one, we can click here, and you can adjust how this information is stored. Okay, this is for more advanced use cases, but you see that this is the document that we fed the model, the knowledge base. Okay, and this is the information it took here parsed. This is the information it took from the document. Okay, so we are using some algorithms to do optical character recognition for the images and so forth. Okay, and here you can see the chunks that are sent to the model. Okay, you can do OCR here. You can adjust the chunks. Okay, and the chunking is just like how big are the pieces of information. Okay, and this is relevant because if you click here, you will be able to decide how many top results, in this case chunks, you want to send to the model. Okay, by default this will work fine. Okay, with the chunks that we put here and with everything that is happening behind the scenes, you don't have to adjust anything. But for some specific use cases, if you want better accuracy, you have these options in Stack AI, and of course you don't have to code anything. Yeah.
That's part of like whole structure. It's like I'm a little bit unstructured. I can teach Node and that just sort of
Yeah.
I'm not sure like when I write in my language model where to put it, like how to run through very structured, how to connect all these things.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for that question, because it's true that there's many possibilities, and there's some nodes that are incompatible with each other. But for a large, you can put a large language model in between almost everything. So for example, here we have a message from the user, we have a knowledge base so this will travel this way and will query the knowledge base. You could put a large language model here just to fine tune that search thing. You can put multiple large language models, in chain as well. It will work. Then there's some other nodes that this could not happen, but in general, so how this works is like you go from left to right, and you have data loaders or input nodes, and then you have things that will process information. It can be a large language model. It can be well, for example, if you put an image to text, okay, you cannot send text at the very beginning. Or if you do an audio to text, the same. It will need to start with an audio. and so forth. And then we have more nodes, okay, that are more complicated, routing and a Python node and other things. But I would say you have input nodes. That's the first thing. Then you have knowledge bases that you are gonna query, okay? And then you have large language model that will receive that information. And then at the end, you have output nodes. Okay, and it can be output nodes. If you go here to output, we have actual actions. So you can send an email, for example. You can click here, and instead of having an output plotted, you can have an email sending here something. Okay, you can specify that the content will come from this model, and you can have a send Gmail. Okay, and this is in the output. So you have input, you have then knowledge bases, then you have large language models, and then you have output. Well, for you the other way, but inputs, okay, and then you transform that data. Yeah.
Just kind of wondering how that would fit into, I guess, like the own terms we're creating, like if you wanted to make, let's say, I don't know, mental health chatbot and sell it. So that's like what we're doing, but like in theory, would this be a good tool to use then, or would that sort of like come into an IP issue? Like what's
No, IP issue. So everything is from the people that all these projects that you build are yours. So in that sense, the IP belongs to you. And the good thing about this is that you can see the sort of like the architecture of your chatbot, where the information is coming from and everything, and you can adjust it. It's very easy to prompt the model. It's very easy to also do the analytics. So yes, I mean, I think it's great to get you started. And maybe if this is like a very core functionality from your startup, maybe at some point you want to code it yourself from scratch. But at least it will help you go really fast to iterate with customers. That's one thing. And then, oops, something went wrong. See? And then one thing that you can do, I think there was a question before, is that you can use Stack AI, something that will run in the background, and then that will help your developers go way faster. So they can focus on the UI of your product and then connect it to Stack AI via these API endpoints. Okay, they will know how to work with this. And just to connect Stack AI is something that will run in the backend and will do the transformations that you need with the models that you need. And then we'll send the result back, and then you can put it in your UI, in your product, in your website, whatever. Okay. But yes, any other? Yeah.
Can I improve can I improve the features?
Yes. Yeah, you can send pictures. Okay, and I'm gonna explain you why we have knowledge bases and why we have data loaders. Okay, it's there's a nuance thing going on. So knowledge bases, you will always need to query them. Okay, that's why you see this word called search, and it can be as large as you want. Okay, that only specific chunks of information will go to the model. Okay, just to see what chunks are coming here, you can put an output node here, and just to debug your logic, and you will see what's coming out of this node and what's coming to the model. Okay, so that's one thing. Then if you go to data loaders, you'll have more things. So if you want to send a YouTube video, you can also do it. But what will happen with these data loaders is that everything will flow to the large language model. So there's no search. Like you're gonna take the information and you're gonna send it. So for example, for a picture that you want to send, I would recommend using this node called documents. Okay, and then connect it straight to the model, okay, without any search. Okay, and then here you have a button called expose as input. And if you click here, the end user will be able to upload a picture or a document. Okay, so here you see that you can send a PDF, a doc, a docx, a txt, even an Excel file you can send, a CSV, okay, a PNG, JPEG. So there's plenty of formats that you can send, and it will do that. And if you click here, you can do these two advanced options, okay, to extract data from graphs and to extract text from images. Okay, so this is I recommend using the documents to upload pictures, and all that information will flow to the model. But since it's one picture, it's okay, the model can handle that. But for example, if you have a knowledge base with 40,000 resumes of people in the company, and you want to have a staffing GPT to ask who has to work on the next project, you don't want the 40,000 CVs to go to the model. That's why you would use the knowledge bases. Make sense? Very good. And you have here YouTube videos. You can connect to the Airtable, Google search that we already saw. Google search is going to do a Google search and send everything. And you can connect with SQL and other databases. But yeah. So you don't want an output? You don't get an output right now. There. Okay, that's because what you need to do, once you are ready with your logic, okay, in our case it's a little bit, well, it's you see it's we have nodes all over the place. I'm gonna delete them, but at least now here we have a logic that I think will work. If I ask something, hello. Now if I ask, I don't know, like I know I uploaded finance documents, so growth in Europe. Okay? And then if you click run, it works, right? In this view. Okay. That's because once you are ready with this, okay, and now you see, look, you see here the information that I took from the documents, okay, in these output nodes. Okay, you see it's a lot. It sent this, and now the large language model is processing information. Okay, I mean we are generating a voice as well. Let's see. What else? I don't know. Well, it's still thinking. I cannot play it yet. But what you have to do is click this button called publish. So once you are ready with your logic of the assistant, you click publish so that people from the outside can access your logic. Okay, so that's why it's because, so if you click publish here and we put a description, and I click confirm, and I go to export, okay, this will keep running because we put a lot of logic. Now here, you have to put let's put a name, financial documents, this one. Okay, and you can put ask me anything in the description. We'll see that it will appear underneath. Okay, and you see here, financial documents assistant, ask me anything. Okay, and now if I ask something, well, I mean, our logic is a little bit slow, but if you ask something, it will start generating things. Okay, so let's say, well, let's put the same. And you have to click here, save interface. So once you do things here and you adjust different things, you will see you have to click save interface. Okay, now here, for example, we see multiple outputs. Okay, output 2 and output 0. Okay, since it's a ChatGPT type of interface, you should only have one output. Okay, and you have to decide which one. We had one that it was used just to debug what was coming out of the knowledge base. So don't use that for the end output that the user is going to see. Okay, and in our case, I think it was out 0, the one that was at the end. So that's what you see here. Okay, we have here more features as well for this custom ChatGPT. So you can ask for feedback from users, and there's going to be a thumbs up, thumbs down, and then they can put a comment. This is for follow-up questions. You can show the steps, so the reasoning, sort of like what Perplexity does as well, and then conversation starters. You can suggest some questions at the beginning, and say like, well, growth in Europe, US and China. yes, the most relevant insights and summarize the documents. Okay, and now if I click save, I will see here these buttons just to get the conversation started. Okay, so sometimes it's useful. You have more things here: security. You can protect your chatbot. You can change the logo as well. Okay, and this is the custom ChatGPT, but you have as well the form interface, which I think is very interesting, specifically for business processes. Okay, let me see why this is happening. Okay, so you can have multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So here we have output. I'm gonna put the other one. I'm gonna put the text to audio as well. Okay, so here as output, I have output 1, output 2, and I have also the audio that is coming as generated as well. So you can have multiple outputs, multiple inputs as well, and it's more flexible than the custom ChatGPT.
Errors. And it says like go and ask.
Go and ask
Yes. And if.
Look, you see this email?
Yeah.
Because they're not referencing to it.
Okay.
So just delete that.
Yes.
Open query that. No. The one that is yeah. And then you have to put this URL and then which is this one. You have these nodes connected, but we are not referencing in the prompt, so it doesn't know how to handle that.
Sorry, and if you you have any questions or any errors, you can ask somewhere.
Yeah, we have a Discord community.
Yeah.
So I can share the link. So you can have a community and we answer there, or you can send an
Two quick questions. One question. Can we do identity management for people to log in and log out? So it's not us. So it's not us, but like, can we actually have that sort of something natively built? And then second, can we also have memory for, let's say we have somebody use it, can we retain memory?
Yeah, well, two great questions. The first one for identity management, the only thing we have, since it's so our customers are mainly building internal tools for the company, we're doing SSO. Okay. So they log in with SSO, and then if you go to analytics here, you will see the username, okay, of the, you see, username, that's me. No? So that's how it works. But if you open it to the public, there's no way of, unless you develop like a screen for people like to log in and so forth that you can do. No, not natively integrated. And the second one for the memory, so if you do this identity management, for example, SSO or what so forth, yes, it's gonna keep the conversation. And if you go back, you will see your different conversations here in the assistant. So for example, here, okay, if I click here, I will see my conversations here. Okay, right now I only have one, but I will see everything. But if not, no. What you can do is you could use our API endpoints, okay, and in the API endpoints you can provide here a user ID. Okay, so you can it's not natively done, but in your app you can use our API endpoints with your UI, and you can send a specific user ID, and it will keep track of the conversation and everything.
Thank you.
Very good. And also just going back to the memory, if you go to, by default, the memory is enabled. So if you click here on the large language model, you will see here, well, this one is not, but you can click here and decide how many messages you want the model to remember, okay, based on the conversation. If you don't have it enabled, it will forget what you ask it, okay? So if it's a conversational assistant, then I suggest you enable the memory here. And you can enable citations as well. That is something that Well, this one got stuck, but you will see the specific documents that were used from the knowledge base to answer, the user. Any other questions? Do you guys like the platform?
Hey,
Okay, I see.
can you hear the
Yes.
Zoom?
But,
One question on that, the memory is user specific,
sorry?
the memory that you just enabled, is it user specific?
Yeah, it's user specific.
I mean, it's kind of very little memory though, right? It's kind of only like 100.
No, you can put as much as you want, okay? I don't recommend so you can put here, I think this is, yeah, you can put like 50 you can put like 1,000 if you want. You can put as much as you want for the window size. But just be careful because all large language model has a context window, maximum context window. So for every new message that it receives, it will also receive what you asked before, plus all the context that you are sending from the documents and all these things. Okay. So the longer is the memory, I mean, of course, more it will remember, but at some point it can collapse and say like, okay, I had enough inputs. Okay.
That page. And we want to capture this information in a database. Right, so if we want to keep memory of a customer interaction.
Yeah.
More than the last 1,000 interactions. Can we extract information from this model?
So it's sending information from these interactions to a knowledge, to a database, something like that?
Yeah.
Yes, you can always use, we have here a data loader, but it's also a data uploader, and that is called API endpoint. And you can take the message from the user or whatever you have here, and you can send it to your database and store it there. Bye.
So someone on the chat said if you could check the Zoom chat for football.
Okay. Thank you very much. Where can we obtain the video recording? Okay, I'm gonna share with the TA the video, so you can guys have access to it. Okay.